What's up everybody, it's your boy Kyle, and we are back with another video today. I've been seeing a lot of posts on Facebook and forums talking about how cruises are getting expensive and how to save a couple bucks. So we did some research and we're gonna help you guys save some significant money and make sure your vacation is cheap and you still have the best experience possible. The first tip that we have for you today is to price compare. There's a few different travel agencies and different websites that have different rates. So when you're looking at different websites, you can definitely make sure you're getting the best rate. I know some websites have travel commissions baked into their price, so they're given to the travel agent that books to you. Some websites don't have that baked in, so you can get a lower price on those fares. I've seen personally Cruises Only, which is a website that I recommend, no, this isn't sponsored, have lower rates than actually going through the cruise lines themselves. And I have gotten cruise cash or onboard credit from these websites that were higher than when I actually would have booked through the cruise line. It's definitely worth looking at different websites and price comparing. Just like if you were looking at cars, you wouldn't walk into the first dealership and buy it. You would want to go and check out different locations to make sure you can get the best deal possible. The second tip is definitely something that is underutilized, and I definitely recommend checking this one out. A lot of cruise lines partner up with credit card companies, so you could buy gift cards at a discounted rate. I know personally Carnival works with Visa. Norwegian has a deal right now with Amex, so if you spend $500 or more, you get $150 off. So it's worth looking at your credit card company's websites just to see what promotions they're running. I know Costco also has a discount on Carnival gift cards, so these can also be redeemed for onboard credit. They can go towards the price of your actual traveling cruise fare. So there's definitely a bunch of utilizations for these gift cards, and it's definitely worth looking into. Tip number 3 is knowing when an excursion is overpriced. And how do you do that? Well, you can go on your cruise line's website and look at through all the excursions. And these are great because they give you an idea of what that island or that country's offering at that port. However, there is always an upcharge because the cruise line needs to make money on this excursion as well. So if you can find something that you like, you can go to other websites like Yelp and TripAdvisor to look for the same exact excursion with probably the same exact company, and you'll be able to get it significantly less. I have looked at day passes for Atlantis when we were in the Bahamas through a cruise line. I won't say which name it is, and it was about $220. But then when I went on the actual website, it was like $150. Obviously, you'd have to pay for the taxi to get there, which is anywhere from $5 to $10 a person, but you're still saving around $50 a person even after transportation. So pretty notable cost. It's also worth noting that when you go on the cruise line's website and look at the excursions, you'll see that some of them are rated pretty high, but then if you go see on Yelp or TripAdvisor the same exact excursion, you get the true dirty, nitty-gritty details that sometimes the cruise lines like to omit, and you'll see the true reviews. So it's worth checking out those other websites, even if you want the safety of the cruise line's excursion. And when I say safety, let me clarify. If you're on an excursion on your own and the bus is late or breaks down and you can't get back to the ship before it departs, you're on your own. However, if that happens and you're on the cruise line's booked excursions, they hold the ship for you until you get back on board, which is a really nice perk. And that is why some people do pay the extra premium. But if you don't want to swing that money and you like to just take your chances, like what I kind of usually do, just book on your own. So cruising does have some hidden costs. When you see a cruise that leaves out of Florida and you're thinking, oh wow, I could get on a 4-day cruise for only $300-$400, you're like, that's not a bad deal. But then you have to think about the flights, and then this one always goes under the radar, but the parking. Parking at a cruise terminal can be anywhere from $10, and then if you go to New York City or anywhere that's really a very crowded city, you're paying a premium. So it can go from anywhere from $10 to $50 a day. So if you're going on a 7-day cruise, that's another $350 that you're just not really planning for, and you get hit with it at the end of your vacation. So when you're already down on your luck, you're getting off the ship, you're full, you're tired, you want to go for a nap, you might be hungover, boom, another charge for $350 right then and there. So to get around paying this, it's worth looking at hotels that do an extended parking option. Most hotels will offer you long-term parking at the place that you're booked. So you just make an arrangement with the hotel themselves and you tell them that you're going to be going on a cruise for 5 to 7 days and they'll make sure they get your license plate number, and they'll know when you return, so you don't have to pay any extra. It's included in your hotel fare, which is really nice. And some of the nicer hotels will also offer a free shuttle service or a shuttle service that you can pay $5 to $10 just to go to the port. So you don't even have to worry about the Uber. It's very convenient. They give you a shuttle pass that you just hand to the driver, and he'll take you to the port. So this tip I'm hoping you're never gonna need, but travel insurance can be a huge lifesaver, quite literally. So if you get injured or if anything really bad happens to you and you have to be airlifted off the cruise ship, those helicopter rides can be in the tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So to combat this, you can typically book travel insurance, which will mostly cover all of these costs for unforeseen medical circumstance or anything of that nature. So you're covered and you don't have to go into a crazy amount of debt if you get hurt. So basically, if you're one of the crazy types and you're twerking on a bar, fall off the bar and break a leg, if that's you, get the travel insurance. You're gonna need it just in case. If you don't get hurt on this cruise, chances are one of your vacations, you're gonna catch up with you one time. I have yet to worry about that. I do have to say I do go pretty hard with my friend group, but that's okay. We all know we're covered under insurance if anything that bad happens to us. This tip is revolved around knowing when to travel, what times of the year. Obviously, during the summer, it's gonna be more expensive because you have all the kids out of school, and then during spring break, all the kids are out of college. So those are really busy times. If you go on a holiday cruise, they tend to jack up the prices. So if you're looking to just do a cheap and affordable way to travel, the off season is typically from September through November, obviously not counting the Thanksgiving week, and then January to March. After that, it starts to pick up a little bit into the summertime. So if you're looking for a cheap time of year to travel, that block of months would be the cheapest time to go. And it's also worth noting that to entice you to get on board during those months so they can fill up the ship, they do give you a lot of onboard credit compared to when you go on during the on season when everyone is on the ship. But it doesn't matter when you're going. Make sure you price compare. You can definitely get a better deal on a different website. Even if you think you found a better one for onboard credit, I'm sure a travel agency or a cruise line will be able to match that offer or do better. And it can't hurt just to ask. Who knows? You call the cruise line and say, "Hi Matt, I have it on this website. Can you match this or do any better?" The worst they can do is say no. Go through the other cruise line or go through the other travel agency. Whatever gives you the better deal. You don't owe anything to anyone. But thank you guys so much for watching. Those are some tips on how to save a little bit of cash while you're cruising. And hopefully you found something of value or a new tip or trick. If I missed anything, or if there's anything that you personally do that I didn't touch on, please leave it below in the comments. I'd love to know, and because I want to save some money too. But thank you guys so much for watching, and take it easy. Peace.